Good morning. I think we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and happy Kansas Day. Today is January 29th, 2018. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. Joining me today is Commissioner Shelley Bueller. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Bob Archer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
First item is item 1, proclamations, presentations. Number 1, Grace Med's fourth quarterly report. Alice Weingartner, Director of Community Development for Grace Med.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's nice to see everyone today. My name is Alice Weingartner. I'm with Grace Med Health Clinic, and this is the fourth quarter report. So this is talking about the data that we finished in 2017. The data that was shared with you does reflect a year's worth of data with Grace Med. We are required as a federally qualified health center to provide annual numbers to the Health and Human Services through what we call our Uniform Data Set System. It's our UDS report. So this right here reflects the numbers of patients seen and the numbers of visits that took place. Based on these numbers, we definitely did see an increase in number of unduplicated patients from previous years. So that was something that we anticipated seeing, and so we were glad to see that information. The part that was probably one of the parts that was most pleasing to me is the fact that we now can represent some dental encounters on here through our outreach program, and we know that that will continue to grow. Right now, we're seeing students in about 19 schools in our oral health outreach program, and we anticipate adding at least 1 or 2 more locations in this next coming school year. And we do have at least 1 school location in all of the Shawnee County school districts this year, which is nice to be able to represent, as well as several of the private schools as well. As you might imagine, Project Wellspring continues to be one of our main focuses of work. We have broken the $500,000 mark, so we are now under $500,000 needing to raise in order to get the Maybe Challenge grant. So we continue to identify potential donors, meet with them, and work towards getting that Maybe Challenge grant and getting the building renovated and opened. So I would be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for?
I just might have one. Alice, what's the time frame once you meet the challenge and I know you've acquired the building, but then what's the timeline as far as completion of remodeling and getting into the building?
With what we're working on right now, we're hoping to be in the building possibly as early as the summer. So a lot of that could depend on what happens with the contractors once the contractor's finally identified. So, and those are things that we're working on currently.
Okay.
So it will be before the end of the year.
Great.
That we're very confident in, hopefully sooner.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing the progress with that and
Definitely.
some construction and settling into the building.
Yep.
Commissioner Archer, any questions or comments?
Well, I was just going to notice that, I think it was like 7,900 unduplicated patients last year. And I think when the FQHC was under Shawnee County, it was around 5,000.
It varied between 5,000 and 6,000, yeah.
So we've had 50% increase,
Pretty close.
60% increase in patients. And I know the goal is eventually to get to about 25,000.
That is correct.
And so, bravo.
Moving in that direction.
Yeah, bravo, good
Thank
job.
you.
Good
Thank you.
job. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All those things do help towards our health rankings and improving our health rankings in
do.
Shawnee County. So
Yeah.
keep up the good work.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there any questions regarding the 3 items?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to approve the consent agenda as presented, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Under item 4, new business, A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
We have vouchers totaling $1,575,368.48, and most the higher amounts are all around our employees. Basically, payroll $543,338.98. Actually, and the detention center with Healthcare included in that with Corizon, $406,187.39. And then healthcare again, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Delta Dental, and MedTrack for our employees, $272,021.66. And I have no questions. Would move approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller for approval of the vouchers, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook to approve the correction order, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 3, consider renewal of tax exemption for Big Heart Pet Brands for year 2. There's 4 renewals on this. Year 2, on the first one, they maintain 28 positions. Year 4, for the second one, they maintain 33 positions. Year 7, for the third one, they maintain 50 positions. And the fourth one, they get a 92% exemption because they we do a pro rata. They were supposed to maintain 75, and they only maintain 69. So that's what they have. So they met the requirements, and so they are the last one of the exemptions that we have to have before you this year.
Commissioners, any questions regarding these 4?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer for approval, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item B, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C40-2018 with Silverbacks to provide Parks and Recreation facilities, Central Park, Garfield, and Hillcrest Community Centers at no cost to Silverbacks for administering the Silver Supper program to youth under 18 years of age.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jess Rakestraw, Parks and Recreation. This is an MOU with the Silverbacks organization to provide their Silver Supper program at 3 of our community centers. Silverbacks is a volunteer organization that provides free meals to kids under age 18. This program has been operating out of our community centers in the past. We just wanted to formalize our partnership and our commitment to fight youth hunger in Shawnee County. In 2017, they served over 14,000 meals out of our community centers, so we are happy to continue with them. So I'll answer any questions that you might have.
This is the second or third year. I know this program has been expanding.
Right. It was in existence before I got this position, so I can't give you an exact date, but it's definitely been at least 2 years, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And so this memorandum just formalizes our agreement with Silverbacks?
Correct. They were just operating out of the wonderfulness of their hearts, so.
Commissioners, any questions?
And I'll move approval of the contract.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0.
Thank
you very
you.
much. Our next item.
Item C, County Councilor. Number 1, consider approval of Resolution Number 2018-7, authorizing the initiation of eminent domain proceedings to acquire a permanent public right-of-way easement necessary for the construction of Northwest Button Road over tributary to Half Date Creek, 0.3 miles north of Northwest 46th Street project.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jonathan Berzon, Assistant County Councilor. As stated by the clerk, this is a request to authorize our office to commence eminent domain proceedings in the Shawnee County District Court. I did have a chance to speak with the landowner, Mr. McDonald, for about 20 minutes on the phone last week. He said he couldn't be here today, but I was encouraged that we can probably have some additional negotiations with him. So,
And in the event that we have a settlement reached, would that be something that you would bring back before the
yes,
commission?
yes, the settlement would have to be approved by the Commission.
Okay. Any other questions?
Very good. Okay. No, I have no questions.
I'll move for approval of the resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Good luck. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item D, Health Department. Number 1, consider approval of request to fill a vacant master's social worker position at a salary including benefits of $58,243.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher with the Health Department. Due to a resignation, we are asking to refill this master's level social work position. This position is completely funded through our maternal and child health block grant that we receive from Kansas Department of Health and Environment. As stated, the salary and benefits are $58,243. This particular position provides intensive case management for what I deem some of our most at-risk pregnant and parenting mothers and families here in our community. They do case management, assessments, referrals to other services here in our community. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions regarding this
Don't
request?
have any.
I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer to approve the request, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item D2, consider authorization and execution of contract C41-2018 with the Nurse Family Partnership to provide outreach, prevention, and early intervention services from August 1, 2017 through July 31st, 2020.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher with the Health Department. Today's request is to enter into a contract with the Nurse Family Partnership to provide home visitation services in our community. We have had this contract since 2013. We do have a current contract with them. The changes in the contract are due to they made some changes in their model elements, and also they are moving to a new data collection system in 2018. So they wanted those changes reflected in the new contract. Again, Nurse Family Partnership is our evidence-based home visitation program that provides intensive services to our first-time parents here in our community. And the Early Childhood Block Grant and Medicaid Match Grant are what fund this program. Be happy to answer any questions.
Could you tell us just a little bit about the program and maybe what some of the changes are, what we would anticipate? What are the advantages to Shawnee County by having this partnership?
Yes. Again, this is an evidence-based nurse home visitation program, so it's staffed by RN nurses only, and they provide home visitation services to the at-risk first-time parents. And so that's the service that they target, and they found that through the research that first-time parents are more likely to make the changes. They haven't had the parenting before, so they're more likely to absorb the information and be able to foster a better relationship with their children. Some of the changes that they have made, the biggest one that I've noted is they are expanding their caseload size. So before it was up to 25, and now they're really recommending the 25 cases. So they're determining that, again, just a little bit, they want more clients being served by the program. There's also some different training services that are changed in their model elements as far as requirements for administrators and supervisors and staff members.
Okay. Other questions?
That's good.
I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Thank you very much. Our next item.
Item E, Administrative Services, number 1, consider approval of request for one employee from Audit Finance to attend the 2018 Government Finance Officers Association Annual Conference at a cost of approximately $1,350.
Betty Greiner, Director of Administrative Services. As the clerk stated, I'm asking for approval to send an employee to this conference. This is one of the few conferences that really concentrates on governmental accounting and finance. I've listed some of the different areas that they will be discussing, not only accounting and auditing standards, but also budgeting and financial planning, debt management, treasury and cash management, risk management, and economic development. So it really is an opportunity to get information on those areas that directly apply to Shawnee County. Also, just the networking opportunities to meet with other people in the financial roles with other places and have those networking contacts. This is also, this year it's in St. Louis, Missouri, so it will be easy to just, drive rather than, and keep the travel costs down. So I'll be happy to answer any other questions. Oh, also, the person that goes will come back and present to our department what they have learned, and also present a report to the commission.
Okay. Questions regarding this request?
Good. Thank you, Betty. I'll move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item F, Commission Number 1, reflect that Commissioner Archer has reappointed Eric Stafford to the 3rd Judicial Nominating Commission for a term beginning March 5th, 2018, and ending March 7th, 2022.
Commissioner Archer, this is your appointment.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I want to thank Eric for agreeing to continue to serve. Eric is an executive with the Kansas Chamber of Commerce. He's a young professional that I think we need in important leadership and advisory roles. My view is that we need to seek young, qualified candidates for all openings on our commissions. So I'm glad and thankful that Eric Stafford is going to continue to serve on this board. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, it's a motion to approve your request.
Motion to approve.
We'll go ahead and second your request. So motion made by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department heads, elected officials, or members of the public to address the commission or bring items to them.
Good morning, Commission. Herman Jones, Shawnee County Sheriff there. I want to first start off with saying happy birthday, Kansas.
Yeah.
Today's a birthday. And also, Commissioner Bueller, I think you missed the memo.
What's that?
The dress. That's okay. No, seriously though, I wanted to come back. We had conversed a couple of times there, just come on, give you a little update about what's going on in communications and just some of the progress of things that have been going on. First off, I want to say that, we had our Director of Communication that had resigned and taken another opportunity there, and from that then, we've promoted Melanie Mills Bergers just recently to the interim position of director there, and she's been doing a great job. She's very qualified for that there. She came to communications back in 2004, starting basically as a communication specialist and worked her way up to a point where she was a trainer and then also assistant director, and now she's filling that term of the interim director and doing a great job. I've talked with many of our partners there, and they give great kudos and thumbs up to that appointment as well. So it's been well received by our partners there. So just kind of give you a little bit update of what's going on right here. In the year 2017, our folks were pretty busy, obviously, with 911 calls. For that year of 2017, total calls of was about, well, I say this, it's 119,000 calls plus. Now, from that then, not only do we get emergency phone calls, we also get non-emergency phone calls. And that for the year of 2017, that was about 200,000. So basically a total of 321,000 phone calls that our communication specialists have had to deal with over the course of time or so. And from that then, when we talk about the emergency calls for service there, majority of our phone calls go to the police department, obviously with the population and those type of things right there. And they have about 126,000 calls that are directed for their actions on that. Second to that is, would have been going to, obviously, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office there, where we had about 35,000 calls that we received over the course of the time there. And next to that would be Topeka Fire Department there. And they come in about, looks like 21,000 calls. So, and then there's several others that receive those types of calls. But basically, law enforcement takes about 86% of all the calls that come in to the 911 center then. And then the others would be obviously for the fire department. So with that then, we're always talking about staffing. I know that's a concern. What we're doing right now is trying to improve that. We're working with about 25 full-time employees, communication workers there, and about 7 intermittents, meaning these are like a part-time position or so. But we're constantly looking for individuals to come in and assist with that right there. So one improvement that we've made over time is by adding 2 call taker positions. And what that is individuals, their main priority is taking the phone calls that come in to the 911 center there, and then they will disperse those calls out to the various consoles such as fire, police, and county. By doing that, then, we've been able to reduce that multitasking that we talk about from individuals that are taking phone calls and trying to dispatch and trying to talk on a computer at the same time. We've eliminated some of that process now, so now individuals can really concentrate on those calls when they go out. And also, we can redirect some of those non-emergency phone calls there. So it is taking a great load off that. Those 2 positions that we've done in an initial process is kind of like a test pattern to see what we need to do. With that, then, we may be looking for additional positions there just to really augment the operations in there. But for right now, it's been a great success. And with the information I have is probably taking a load, probably about a 30 to 40% load off of the dispatchers when they're trying to deal with a chase or a fire or whatever else it is. And it's been a great improvement. It really has. Since 2017, we've had 2 academies. What we've done is we've instituted academies for those new employees that are coming in. And from that, then, we've seemed like we've had some great success. 2 completed academies. We have one going right now, and then we look to start another one in March of this year. And from that, then, with these academies, is we put individuals in a training module where they're in a classroom, and then we gradually work them in to the point where they're actually in the seat of the console. Doing this, then, we don't have basically a training overload of individuals when it's OJT in the old standard, where it's a new standard right now. They gradually work their way up to it, and they're a little more successful with that. We've had more retention of our new employees coming in here. We probably have about a 75 to 80% retention level of new employees coming in compared to about maybe a 40% of the past before the academy and stuff. We're constantly looking for new individuals in there. If anyone is interested and anyone knows of individuals that are interested in emergency communication, we offer any opportunity for individuals to come down, take a tour, talk to someone, and see if that's might be a match or so. One of the things that we've done over time is when the applicant comes in is to actually put them in the communication center and just get a taste of what it is, so it's not a rude awakening in the process later on. Through all of these type of things right there, this is what we've been able to do. We're working on some other innovations of what we've done. One of the things that we've done as well is we've taken every employee of communications and sitting them down and basically doing an audit, if you will, and what can we do better, and getting some input, and we're receiving some great ideas from our employees and some things like that. But if anything, it's about the communication to our employees about how we can make the environment and make our agency much better. So I basically just want to give you a little update of what's going on with that or so, and if you got any questions.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Who is our new interim?
It's Melanie Mills Bergers.
Okay. Would it be possible to have her come and give us a presentation?
Yeah.
I'd really like, a frontline supervisor to tell us about the challenges and opportunities in dispatch
Sure.
currently. It would be helpful for me.
I agree. I think that, also just to allow her an opportunity to, I know she's come over before
Yeah.
and spoke, and, as she's taken the helm as the interim, but maybe also just another recruitment opportunity.
Sure,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that would be very helpful to me.
Very good.
All right.
Well, I know that there were a lot of good changes that Jeremy made as he was the interim director, and Melanie worked with him. And again, having Melanie work since 2004, you said?
Yes, sir.
So having somebody who's worked up the ranks and knows the operations and the challenges, I think that's good. So
Good.
congratulations on
All
some
right.
of these achievements, and hopefully we continue to make good strides.
All right, there you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other administrative communications this morning? Okay. Ms. Ahrens, do you have?
Sorry, get up.
Sorry.
Thank you for allowing me to speak, and you welcome the public every time, and I really appreciate that. I'm Marge Ahrens, and I have lived in Shawnee County and paid property and sales taxes here for 35 years. I was startled to learn recently that both our property tax and sales tax rates stand out as high in the country and in the state. I ask that you publish for the public both the requirements to obtain both property tax and sales tax exemptions in our county and the amount of those largest exemptions. I see that you did that today for Hill's Pet Foods, although I don't know the amount that their property tax would have brought in or sales tax would have brought in had they been taxed. We know that we exempt churches, public buildings, and charitable corporations. So do counties around us, yet our tax rate exceeds theirs considerably. The public has a right to know to whom we give large exemptions and at what cost to our tax base. Exemptions are equal to subsidies. We have extraordinary needs in regard to mental health, police, as we just heard, and public education. We need a healthy tax base to improve our community, and we need to hold on to what we have. Let's remember together that property owners who do pay taxes are bearing any burden given to those exempted. It's a matter of transparency. We cannot move forward as a community without knowledge of where we stand with subsidies now. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mark. Any other administrative communications this morning? Commissioner Archer, do you have anything?
No, nothing to add, thank you.
Commissioner Wheeler?
I do not, thank you.
Okay. As the sheriff said, today is the Kansas Day. It's the 157th anniversary of Kansas becoming a state, and so just wanting to take a moment and celebrate that. Today's agenda was relatively brief. I would not anticipate our Thursday agenda to be as brief. There's going to be some important items that we'll be discussing on Thursday with the Expo Center Master Plan discussion. Commissioner Archer, I think you said we're either going to get a deal done or not leave, and so...
That's what I said.
Lunchtime comes at noon. Also, we'll be having some discussion of our excess reserves. I anticipate looking at that. We drafted a resolution talking about our reserve policy, and when we have excess reserves, what we would do with those monies. And so having a discussion on that also on February the 1st. Finally, JADO is planning to meet, Joint Economic Development Organization is scheduled to meet by our operational rules on the second Wednesday in February. That falls on February the 14th, which is also Ash Wednesday. Now, as the operational rules do not allow the chair, which this year is Shawnee County, and myself, to just move the meeting due to a conflict. However, when there is a lack of a quorum, then we would have to reschedule due to that. I've been notified by verbally that there are a number of individuals on JADO that do have a conflict. And so when I have those in writing, I'll make it formal, but I am anticipating us moving the JADO meeting to February the 28th. So just as a preview and giving a heads up to our partners as quickly and as early as we can, again, due to the conflict with not having a quorum of the voting members being able to be present.
But, Mr. Chair, I will point out that part of the bylaws are that anyone, a voting member from the city council can name a proxy. So that's always a possibility, too. And I know it's Valentine's Day, so I hope that doesn't impede anybody from showing up.
And Ash Wednesday.
And Ash Wednesday.
So, just as a kind of a heads up and a preview. So, Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item 6, executive session.
There is not a need today for an executive session, so we are adjourned.